All right, thank you for watching today. This is Paul Gilbert, and today I want to introduce you to a neck diagram that I made. This is really similar to what I use a lot when I'm trying to memorize new shapes on the guitar. A lot of times I'll print out some neck paper and I'll write out whatever shape it is. A really simple example would be a D chord. Kind of looks like a triangle. I mean, every guitar player knows a D chord, so you're familiar with that triangular shape. But if you're trying to learn something a little trickier, it helps to be able to study it visually, to memorize it so you know where to put your fingers. So today I want to show you a couple things that the neck paper, or the neck, in this case, the neck diagram will help you with. I want to show you, first of all, a simple string skipping arpeggio. And that one is going to be, I'm going to do one in the key of A minor. It's going to look like this. We're going to have an A on the D string. There, that represents where you put your finger. Then we're going to put the third there, the fifth there. We're not going to use the B string, and we're going to go up here to the A and the C. So I don't know, that sort of looks like maybe it's a rhombus. But it doesn't matter what it looks like. You just have to memorize that shape. Here are the notes. And you can use a lot of hammer-on and pull-off techniques because it's 2 notes per string. And you have that one on the bottom. I'm not picking every note. I'm using the fact that it's 2 notes per string to do hammer-ons. Only picking the first note, hammering on the second. And when I descend, doing the opposite, picking the first note and pulling off. That makes it much easier. You know, if you have to pick everything, you got to jump over that B string each time. But if you do hammer-ons and pull-offs, it makes the picking a whole lot easier. And I think it makes the sound of it smoother as well. So that's actually, I just wanted to show you that quickly so I can show you something which I think is very cool and sort of an unusual coincidence. If you take this whole shape and transpose it up into the key of C minor, let's see what that looks like. Okay, so here is exactly the same lick in C minor. Now the reason I put it up here is one day I decided I wanted to explore the entire neck and find every single place I could possibly bend a cool note in the key of A. You know, A blues, that kind of, you know. Most people when they're playing A blues, they bend here. Or they bend here. Or maybe they bend... But I wanted to know, I thought bending is important. It's one of the most... the things that really brings out emotion and character out of the guitar. So I don't want to be limited to that position. I want to be able to bend everywhere. And as I was searching for the places to bend, I realized that in the key of A, this C minor triad lick, if you bend each string, those all sound really good in the key of A. It's just a coincidence. There's no really music theory here. It's just a happy accident of fingering. Now, if you don't bend them, it would be a horrible. It's going to sound kind of out of tune and not too good. And each one you also have to know how far to bend. The first one is a half-step bend to fit in the key of A. The next one is also kind of a half-step bend, or even less. Like it's just like a quarter bend even. So the next one is a whole step. It's good practice because you have to use your pinky on that one. Then we get another half bend, another half or even less. So I love the sound of this, especially if you skip around. Maybe do this note and this note as octaves, like then maybe this one and this one. So you'd be like, and then go back to your typical ones in 5th position. And I love the sound of that. I want to be able to bend everywhere. So please explore the neck and find as many places as possible where you can bend. Sometimes it's even cool to pick a purposefully bad note, a note that you know does not fit in the scale, and bend it until it does. For example, maybe one of the worst notes you could pick in the key of A would be B flat. That one in a blues kind of sound is going to be really ugly. So don't stay on it long. Just immediately bend it, and it'll give you this maniacal bend that really in context sounds amazing, because you have to just bend it like crazy in order to get it up to a place where it's going to sound good. And even though it ends up sounding like you meant to do that, which you did, of course. And that's it. Keep on bending those strings. You need calluses in order to bend strings. That was one of the best pieces of advice that my Uncle Jimmy ever gave me. He said, you need calluses on your left hand, you need to mute with your palm, and you need to practice all the time. So I tried to follow those 3 rules, and bending is one of the most important. And of course, this is also useful as a rip and arpeggio lick. So you've got 2 licks for the price of 1. Thank you very much. Rock and roll.